I'm doing this one without a camera, so it's easier to edit because I have a lot of things to say. I tried this a couple days ago, but it had been so long since I spent effort saying things that it took a while to do. And I started coughing a lot and couldn't continue, so I hope it goes better this time. Hello, I'm Raikou, but you probably already knew that because this is the YouTube channel where Raikou does things. Get this out of the way quickly so that I don't have to address it in any other videos that I do about anything moving forward, which I will describe those in a bit. I have a mental condition. It's a mix of a few of them, like depression and social anxiety and PTSD and DID and a bunch of other things that I'll get into later. But all of that comes together to make completing tasks that are difficult very challenging, which they are to humans, but it's a little bit worse for mine because my brain will constantly drastically reduce my motivation for anything. Other chemicals to them, and hard to start to do anything about it when your brain tells you everything's too complicated to start, like it does with a lot of things. I lose interest in things that I'm doing, like I just talked about. So anything that I'm still doing after however many years of doing it, like 3 for the YouTube channel, or 10 or 18 for writing or doing physical art. I love those a lot and am very interested in the things that they produce just as products and the ideas that they can produce about how you talk about them as a creator and how people talk about them as an appreciator. But making good things is hard, and doing hard things hurts human brains. And here we are in this age now where it's very easy to not do hard things, while also it is necessary to do a lot of hard things, and living is still hard like it has been for a long time. We are just able to connect better and talk about it now. I have a brain that is neuroatypical, also in some weird ways. Like I don't know really exactly what term is best for all of the different mechanisms, but it's under an umbrella term of autism, as I have recently come to understand. My brain collects and stores all of the information that I ever hear and never lets it go. So all of my thoughts at all times are a jumbled chaos of either irrelevant nonsense that gets thrown in there a lot, or relevant nuggets that can fit together like an extremely difficult jigsaw puzzle if they're chronologically ordered in the whatever idea that they are. Well, that's hard sometimes, and has taken years to finish a simple, short song because of I require strong brain medicines, some of which may be legal, to level out all of the chemicals and brain functions because my brain doesn't make any serotonin or melatonin, and that makes almost everything extremely difficult. So there's that you know about me, if you didn't already. All of this is to say that I apologize for how things have happened in the past, if that has bothered you. But I am now coming to more terms with the way that I work through the things that I do. So I'm not going to apologize anymore in the future for breaks or messed up scheduling or any of that. I will, of course, try to the best of my ability to post videos in their allotted time slots, but sometimes something's gonna happen. I'm just gonna have a bad day because my brain doesn't feel like working. Or I could have heavy personal financial crises, plural, to people who are very extremely important to me, and not only, just me, but the personality that I have formed for myself. Um, Under extreme pressure to be somebody that I'm not. Those people have almost died very recently. I could have numerous vehicle setbacks for the vehicle that I depend on that is not even mine. And, could also be living in casually the worst pandemic of the last 100 years. All of those things could go wrong if I miss a video or a slot or a day of uploads. I'm not gonna feel sorry for that in the least. So if you complain about it, get over it or watch something else or just wait feeling bad. That's what you can do. Uh Politely. I don't mean to be mean with that. That's just how the situation is going to be. I'm gonna do whatever type of entertaining art that makes me happy to do for however long that I want to, for a day, however many days in a row, and I'm gonna share it, and I'm not gonna stress too hard about it. Um, except if I, in the future, have a need to stress about it from a business perspective, and then that'll be fun. But stress as a whole has been very high lately for everyone, and I've been dealing with it in a lot of weird ways that I talk about with my friends. Uh, that I've never really structured my life around before. Sure, a lot of you have as well. It's a weird time. This is how I'm dealing with it. So this is right here my first foot back into the door of doing actual productive artistic work. I've been consuming artistic and intellectual content almost constantly every second that I'm awake since I last created some of my own. So my brain is full of ideas on every thing, all of the things that there are. My brain has ideas about them. Then I recently watched a video by popular breathtuber Braingross, spoke of the internet and YouTube as libertarian art and information conveyor belts, shoveling anything hungry little brains want or need directly into our bloodstream. And I quite enjoyed that interpretation of things that he definitely had in those exact words. And it inspired me to want to do more of it for you. How is that? Also, germane to that point was everything that art is, what makes art, and how it's hard because it talks about life, it talks about what we think of it. People talking about the art in the past has been good and still is, and that's what people do here. And this is me talking about my art and what that was, and that's what this is. Video here that is talking about the art. That's what's happening right now. If you want more than rambling of that right now, go watch a movie. Go watch some entertaining or intellectual content. You can get a lot of that right now better than this. Trust me. I've been to a lot of websites, some of them I pay for, to watch things. You can go do that. It's very easy. So I like to play video games. I don't know if you knew that or not about me. I like to play video games a lot. I did a lot of recording my playing of video games on the channel that you saw probably if you're right here. If you didn't and are still somehow here, what is wrong with you? There are those in the place that I just said over there. You can see them all with your eyeballs. I did some songs too. Those sucked. I do game reviews, which are like the best thing that I do so far, I think. And now this is the thing that's happening. Talking a lot. Like I don't do enough of that already. I will do it where it is necessary to explain certain viewpoints in the future, but in the future, I'm not going to talk too much about myself in a certain genre of videos that I want to do, but to where I want to take the channel, some things are important to discuss as a groundwork. That's what this right here is going to be. This is more about me for a little while. I am a sociopath. I have been since I was 8. It's my version of it may not be what your version of it is if you are. It may not be the majority of what those people are like. There's a lot of confusing science around it and a lot of horrible situations that people like me are forced in because of the environment that we live in, which I can talk about later. But my experience with it is that I experience all moods and compassion and empathy and all that good stuff that you would think that I don't. But it's very diluted, muted, and confusing to me and my intellectual portion of the brain in very many ways. I, as an individual, find many constructs of human behavior, language, society, and media weird, while I can understand others. And I can go into that in the future if you have specific questions about it, but that's where I'm going to leave it for now. I'm a witch. I have been a witch of some form since I was 8. I began to question the religion that was forced down my throat. Every night at the dinner table, before food could be. At a very young age, for some reason, don't quite know what that reason could be. Maybe you could guess. Could you tell me? I just started one day listening to myself for things like guidance and strength in adversity and forgiveness and feeling like I belong as a thing that exists and thinks. The forest and the animals and the friends around me were my friends and my support network and my sense of home. I am non binary in gender and sexuality. I feel like I may have been some version of this since I was 8, but didn't really know that I was because I'm the type. See, I feel that I'm not neither of the things that people think you have to be. And for a long time, owing a little bit to the sociopathy, I kind of felt a little blank, but I expressed myself in ways that my parents paid for, and that was common in the area that I lived. And I never really liked a lot of it. I like dresses and makeup and big fancy boots. So I'm not like the normal person in a lot of ways. I'm unique as an individual, and almost everything that results from being a brain. So that's a lot. Might have some ideas that seem super contradictory when I get into them and begin talking about them a lot. All right, that's things that humans do. I'm trying to work on that, and I try to work on logic and reason, like we like to say. Um, but if I'm wrong, and if I'm offensive, you can talk to me, and I'll listen, and I will try to do something about it if it is troubling and not just like pedantic. All right, I'm nice. Been nice since I was 8. I'm a quarter of both native and Irish. Pretty sure I was those before I was 8. I can't confirm that, but well I can because of blood tests. But it, the families of those sides um back through a little bit of culture problems, but they were witches in the past, so that feels nice. So basically, all of this is to say that I'm a big white nerd witch freak. So what does that mean? Well, throughout my life, I've tried to be nice and inclusive and spread peace and love and understanding of other humans my whole life with the skill of my mastery of the English language that I hope to use in the future. Haven't done much of that, just playing games with stream of consciousness. And I want to be writing scripts later where hopefully I can craft nice sentences. So, because all of what I've done in the past, just talking to people around me, hasn't worked because the people around me suck and don't want to listen because they're brainwashed into not listening to us. But if I'm entertaining and engaging enough, I might be able to get people to think and feel and remember a lot of things that are good about life and humanity and talk about things that mess with that. I've always wanted to be my era's Charles Dickens because I have been praised many times in the past for how surprisingly well, when I give enough effort, I am able to manipulate the English language to evoke emotion and thought in my school essays. Because a lot of people don't do that. And I've always had some form of strong opinion on the way that the world works and want to help people open their eyes to the things that made me, a weirdo, feel so strongly about these points, because a lot of it is hidden. So this is a piece of that you have heard. I'm going to be a monolithic political novelist. At some point in my life, that is my goal for living. I'm going to bring some of that to YouTube. Hopefully theatrically soonish, because I am very flamboyant. And I'm going to put my all into it. I promise you that. There's going to be some other kinds of stuff later. Look forward to that. It's going to be very popular and exciting to watch for everyone, because all people will share my thoughts on the subject. So stick around. Excited for that. Thanks, Kay. Auf Wiedersehen.